Are you tired of listening to the same videos over and over again about talking about how great Cambridge, Ontario is and the top 5 reasons why you should move? Maybe you're a more visual learner. Well, in this video, we're going to head upstairs to my office. I'm going to get in front of the desktop and show you what Cambridge looks like from a map perspective, compare the best areas, the worst areas, travel time, and many more. But let's go ahead inside. All right, sitting in front of my desktop right here, I'm going to take you through exactly what Cambridge looks like from a map perspective. I'll break down the 3 cities that encompass Cambridge, which is both Hespeler, Preston, and Galt, as they're 3 almost completely different entities that make up the whole of Cambridge. At one point, they were 3 different towns, but they amalgamated to create Cambridge. So you'll see that when you are driving around Cambridge, that in fact they do have 3 downtowns, Galt being the largest. But if we look at the map here, Cambridge has a pretty unique shape. It's very straight on the eastern side and then follows this road right here, which leads conveniently to the region of Waterloo Airport, then follows the river, the Grand River, breaks into the Highway 401 as it's on the western side is Kitchener, on the eastern side is Cambridge, and then it once again follows the Grand River into Galt and then continues eastward. In terms of travel times, to get to Toronto from Cambridge, you're looking at about 1 hour and 12 minutes. To get to Pearson International Airport, you're looking at 53 minutes, taking into consideration a starting point of Cambridge, which is downtown Galt in this situation. In terms of getting to the airport is conveniently located pretty much in the central area of the region. As we can see here, Cambridge is about a 20-minute drive to the airport. Kitchener is 15. Waterloo is 10 to 15 minutes. So you're not going to have a problem getting to the airport if you are in Cambridge. There's a lot of flights going to and fro from the Waterloo International Airport located here. We have many flights happening throughout the week, traveling here to Halifax, Nova Scotia, flights to Calgary, flights to Abbotsford, which is just located just outside of Vancouver. As well, they have flights to Cuba, especially in the wintertime when people want to get away from the snow, as it does get fairly cold here in Canada in general, and specifically within the Waterloo region, it does get snowy in the winter. Moving on to the eastern border, where Cambridge is about 1.5 hours from Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls is a great place to spend the weekend. If you are looking to get away, you want to see one of the great natural wonders of the world, Niagara Falls is a great place to take your family, a date, your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever the case may be. If you're looking to get to the southern border, you're looking to go to the great state of Michigan, then you're looking at about a 3-hour drive. And then, of course, with the weather warming up here, coming into the summer months, you're probably looking at getting away from the city and maybe potentially going to a beach. An excellent option here is Port Dover, which is located on Lake Erie, which is about 1 hour south of Cambridge. Yeah, Cambridge is a great location in this regard, as it's a bit better than Kitchener and Waterloo, just because Kitchener and Waterloo, you're most likely going to go west towards Grand Bend. As out of the 2 options here, Grand Bend is the better beach compared to Port Dover, but from Cambridge, you're looking at, almost 2 hours rather than just 1 hour to get to Port Dover. If you are going for a long weekend, maybe Grand Bend will be a better choice. But if you're looking to go for a day trip, Port Dover is an excellent option for yourselves if you are choosing to live in Cambridge. In terms of the LRT here, the LRT will be built up in the future, as this is the phase 2 plan here in the Waterloo region. It looks like construction will start in 2028, so this is something to look forward to, as it follows this yellow line here, connects Fairview Park Mall in Kitchener to Ainslie Street Terminal in Cambridge, and will go through to Cambridge Centre. But for now, they do have a bus rapid transit system that again follows the general same path as the future LRT when it comes to Cambridge. In terms of the highway infrastructure in Cambridge, you do have the 401 conveniently located on the northern bound of Cambridge. Hespeler is excellent in terms of getting to the 401, as you're essentially right there. This area here is particularly built up of industrial area, so it doesn't really count. You're not going to be looking in this area when it comes to a home. you're going to be looking further south or west into Preston or here in Blair. In terms of the highways actually going through Cambridge, other than the obvious one, which is the 401, you're looking at Highway 24. Now, Highway 24 gets backed up quite a bit during the day, as it's the main artery that feeds basically Highway 401 to the south end of Cambridge towards Galt. All right, in terms of traffic within Cambridge, there are a few areas that I would like to highlight that gets backed up quite a bit that you have to be cognizant of. Right now, it's about 1:35 in the afternoon on a Wednesday, and we're already seeing that there's a lot of traffic buildup on Highway 24 as there's a lot of shopping here. Highway 24 also feeds the southern end of Cambridge and Galt as well. So as the day progresses towards rush hour 4 to 6 p.m., you'll be able to see that this will be red. It'll be bumper to bumper traffic at many times during the day throughout the week. Another place that you'll have to be cognizant of is King Street East, which turns into Coronation, which then turns into Dundas Street North. Another major road that feeds from Preston into the southeastern end of Cambridge, and this does become backed up. If you are looking for the best neighborhoods in Cambridge in regards to getting to the highway, Hespeler is definitely going to be your absolute best bet, as you don't have any real traffic. It's overdeveloped. If you have not just one, but two entrances from Hespeler, and it feeds a very small area as opposed to, if you're living here on the south end of Cambridge. If you're thinking about buying or selling here in the Waterloo region, please fill out the first link in the description. Let's get back to the video. Moving forward, this is the walk score map for the city of Cambridge, and as you can see here, a lot of it is in red. Cambridge is the least walkable city out of the three cities in the Waterloo region, Kitchener being the most walkable, especially here in the downtown core, Waterloo a close second, and then finally Cambridge a third. There are certain areas that are more walkable than others, one being Galt, which in my opinion is the most beautiful area in Cambridge. So if you zoom in, here, this is the beautiful area of Galt, which is split between the Grand River. Absolutely beautiful down there. It looks more like a European town than it does an actual city within North America, other than obviously Quebec City or Montreal. Galt is an excellent destination. Also, it's very walkable if you are in the downtown core. There are some new developments going up here on the western side. Preston here is another pretty walkable area. Not my favorite area within Cambridge. If I have to pick out of the three, my favorite would be Galt, as it's the safest, it's the cleanest, it has the most amount of charm, most amount of beautiful architecture compared to Preston and Hespeler. Hespeler would be a close second to Galt, as you do get a great access to the highway. That is an excellent advantage that Hespeler does have over Preston and Galt. Looking at Preston, though, it is pretty walkable, and there's been a lot of new development happening throughout the last years in terms of upgrading the infrastructure here, as well as new developments happening along this line. Finally, we have Hespeler. Hespeler downtown is quite walkable, but of course, limited amount of real estate in this area if you are looking to walk around. I think the only place within Cambridge you would be able to get away with just not owning a car and walking or biking or taking public transit would be in downtown Galt. But of course, it would be more difficult than, let's say, the downtown area within Cambridge or the downtown within Waterloo. In this section here, I'll go over the two neighborhoods I would stay away from if you are looking to move to Cambridge, or be cognizant of that they're not the best neighborhoods and they're probably the worst neighborhoods within Cambridge. One of them being, of course, Preston Heights, located on the northwestern side of the city. It does have good access to the highway, but again, one of the poorer neighborhoods, a bit more crime than most, but again, the Waterloo region in general is quite safe, and looking at the general crime statistics, they are about on par with the general population within Canada. It really isn't that bad, but at the same time, there are better neighborhoods. Moving on to my second neighborhood you should avoid, it's Allison here in Cambridge, on the eastern end of Cambridge, just on the east side of Galt. Again, kind of a lower socioeconomic status here. a lot of renters in this area. If you are looking for a family-friendly neighborhood, I don't think Allison would be a great bet. In terms of my two favorite neighborhoods, the first one would be Blair Road and Blair, as they're both located near each other. They're very similar in terms of the demographics, the kind of housing options that you'll get. Of course, in Blair Road here, you're close to downtown Cambridge or downtown Galt. You're also close to the Grand River. You're close to a lot of nature trails. You have a lot of elevation here, so you might be able to get some nice views of the Grand River if you are living here on the western end, as it kind of slopes up. As well, you have a great school of St. Augustine Catholic School. And then, of course, Blair, located right over here on the western side of Cambridge. Bit of a smaller area here, but you do have excellent access to the highway. You have excellent access to the Conestoga College campus in Cambridge, Conestoga College in Kitchener, and you do have a lot of stately homes here. As we can see, if I zoom in on the map, beautiful homes just located off the highway. A nice little quiet pocket back here on Joanne Lane or Joan Lane. Also, you have Sheaf Tower. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful out here. And of course, you have Langdon Hall. And funnily enough, Drake himself, Six God, he filmed a few album cover shots at one point here at Langdon Hall. Beautiful hall as well. Something to check out if you are coming here to Cambridge. But by far, my favorite neighborhood in Cambridge, and I believe it might be my favorite neighborhood in the Waterloo region, is West Galt. Located just west of Grand River, on the western side of Galt, you have West Galt, obviously. It's an absolutely beautiful neighborhood, easy access to downtown Galt, the river, absolutely beautiful. Cambridge Mill, a great restaurant if you want to go down there. And also, just zooming in on the map here, you'll be able to see these old homes that have been either renovated or really kept up to date with, pardon the grayness, but I mean, you can see these green poles. They have a lot of character to these neighborhoods here. Beautiful walking. I mean, you can even see garages, as the garages are either in the back or they don't have garages. I mean, these are absolutely beautiful old Victorian style homes. A lot of old money in this neighborhood. And then, of course, as you go up here, there's a bit of elevation within this neighborhood as well. And you get to the other homes here, which are a bit newer, a bit more unique. As we zoom into, let's say, here at the back, these houses that are tucked away just outside the city. Absolutely beautiful, this neighborhood. A lot of new development as well, infill projects. So I think West Galt is an excellent option if you are looking to move to the Waterloo region and Cambridge. Now, I just want to compare the three main towns that make up Cambridge. As I said, they have amalgamated throughout the years. It's now one city rather than three. There were three distinct cities. Now, looking at travel times between the three areas, we'll look at Hespeler first. Hespeler is about 45 minutes to Pearson. Preston is 48 minutes. And let's say if you're on the south end of Cambridge in Galt, particularly in the neighborhood of Southwood, you're looking at 57, 58 minutes. And this is, of course, during the day at 1:45 p.m. This is not taking into consideration the traffic you will encounter between 4 and 6 p.m. when it is rush hour. In terms of the best area within Cambridge, again, Galt going to be your best bet, unless, of course, you want to have access to the 401. I think Hespeler is an excellent option. Also, Hespeler in the future, you have great access to the airport, which is only a short 15-minute drive. You have access both on not just one exit, but two entrances to the highway, as well as you have a nice little quaint downtown. In Hespeler itself, you'll be able to do all of your day-to-day shopping, including grocery stores and all of the like. In terms of Preston, probably the least favorable place to live in Cambridge, as it's a little bit lower on the socioeconomic scale, a bit lower income, a bit more crime in this neighborhood. I wouldn't really pick Preston. It is getting better. There's a lot of new infill developments happening, but again, it's third place. And then, of course, you have Galt. Absolutely beautiful. But, of course, you are 20 minutes to the highway, which is definitely a drawback. And then, of course, you have Cambridge Center, conveniently located right in the central area of Cambridge. This is the largest mall and the most frequently visited. Moving on to the new developments happening here in Cambridge. Cambridge has a lot of expansive area to grow into. As you can see on the map here, the one in this orange burgundy color, this is the area that's already built out. The area here in the pink is what's known as a designated greenfield area, which will be built out in the future, that the province has laid out, that the Cambridge area has been forced actually to continue building into this farmland here, that they're finally opening up, finally able to do some new development. I look forward to some of these beautiful subdivisions that will be built in the future within the north end of Cambridge. And within the three cities, I believe Cambridge has the most ability to grow in comparison to its population because of this northern end found here, which is relatively flat, a few hills, but it's an excellent place for new development to come into the city, as it has great connectivity to the airport, great connectivity to Highway 401, and of course, you are close to Kitchener too, and of course, Breslau as well. So this is an excellent area in the future. A lot of new development is happening, and I think a lot of new development will happen in the future in this particular area. Well, this was just a quick breakdown of Cambridge, Ontario from a map perspective. I hope you got a lot of value from this video. And if you want to be kept to date with everything happening here in the Waterloo region, please click the like button and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.